Hello, it's Cassie Frass. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a little tutorial on shading with color pencils. First thing you want to do is find the right paper. Every medium you use will require a different type of paper. Pencils usually, you'd want to find a paper that's smooth but has enough tooth that you could add layers for your piece of artwork. When you find the right paper, when you start shading, you want to start light. By doing this, it allows you to correct any mistakes you have. If you make a big harsh line, it'd be harder to correct it, say, making a softer line. Apply light pressure, and then as you go, you'll start adding more and more. But for the beginning layers, just don't press too hard for the piece, and watch your pencil strokes. As you start to build up contrasting values, you want to use more than one color. It's really important to make the darks darker and the lights lighter. By using a darker indigo blue with your cerulean blue and even purples and greens, that really brings out those contrasting values. You want to pick out the colors you use before you start working on anything, or else if you don't, it will make everything look so disorganized. To help yourself out, just pick out the colors you want to use. I try to pick out at least maybe three the minimum, and the more realistic I get, the more colors I use. Watch the way you're shading. If you're shading something round, make sure you're moving your pencil strokes in a round, circular way, so that way it gives it more dimension, because you're shading the way the object would be flowing in real life. So when you do that, it gives it more of a shape. Color pencils do take time, so if you're working on something and it's taking a while to build up those layers, that's why. You're not doing anything wrong. It's just that you'll still see the white of the paper even when you're using lots of layers. As you start to build up the colors, you'll see that it might get harder to apply more color, so that's when you start darkening, putting more pressure onto your paper with your pencil. Try not to flatten out the tooth too soon, or else you won't be able to get all those pretty layers in and get lots of dimension in your piece. The colors do start to blend themselves out a bit, so if you make a mistake, try not to worry. Just you'll see if you could blend it out with the pencils themselves, because that's what color pencils do. They blend into themselves, especially Prismacolors. If you want your highlights, make sure to use your white pencil. Your white pencil is going to be your best friend when working with color pencils. Trust me, I've burned through like 3 of them already, and it's just a set of like 72. Please make sure that your pencils are staying sharp, because when they're sharp, they could get into that tooth, the grain of the paper, and if they're dull, it'll be harder for you to control what you're doing. So make sure and pay attention to how sharp your pencil is. You could try rotating it as you shade, so that way it will stay sharp. Once you feel you have enough layers, you can start burnishing. What burnishing is you take a white or another light colored pencil and you apply heavy pressure on it to help blend the colors out a little more. You can also purchase a colorless blender. That's what I'm using here. I like to use both white and the colorless blender. It depends on what I'm working with and what kind of technique I want. Just experiment and see what works for you. The more you draw with your color pencils, the better you get. So even if the first time you use them, you don't get the effect you want, don't worry about it. Just keep drawing. The more you draw, the better you get. Don't be afraid to make bad art. The only way you'll improve is by making mistakes, because you're branching out and experimenting more and learning. So if you make mistakes, that just means you're staying out of your comfort zone. So don't worry about it. I hope this advice helped you guys out a lot. If it did, give me a big thumbs up. And if you want more videos from me, just leave a comment and I'll get to you when I can. Bye. Have a good day.